Okay, this is the vehicle section, part of the debts. In this section we have a place for two vehicles. We prefer that you put in fill out all the information available. So we have the year, the make, and the model. It's not necessary you put those in, but when we are looking at what event is about to trigger, it's really important to have this information in here. Next, do not worry about the amount paid off or the month year. The system will actually put a number in the month year, and that is the month year that the system has calculated this should pay off. And so there will be a time in the future when you'll actually come in and put the month, year, and the amount that they paid off, so that the system can really just start using what's real information of what actually happened, so we can make sure we have an accurate count for what's going forward. Next is the balance owed. Pretty straightforward. Monthly payment, interest rate, and the loan length in years. Now typically we talk about loan lengths in vehicles in months, and so one of the common mistakes is that someone will put in it's a 48-month loan, but because we want this in years, we will actually recognize we're not talking about 48 years for a car, so we actually convert that so that it does take care of that. So if you do a 72, instead it will convert it to 6 years. Okay? If you have a zero interest rate, which there are some that say zero interest rate, of course what they do is, they compensate for that. So you can put 0 here. It will actually reset that to it, so it's a 0.001 because there's a scenario where we can't divide by 0. So it's obviously nominally 0. And then finally, when we will calculate what this looks like for the balance owed and the payment, we will work the system backwards and calculate when this loan originated and how far into the loan we are. So by knowing all of that, we'll also know when this 6 years is set to expire, or when you'll have this paid off. And what we'll do is, typically when someone pays off a vehicle, obviously they're not going to continue to write a check for $289, so that basically just folds back into the family budget. In this system, we're going to take that $289 when it's paid off, and we're going to turn that from a headwind into a tailwind. Now we're going to use that until the end of this 6 years, when it would have normally you'd normally have stopped paying that. But because most people don't get a car the month after they finish making a payment, they pay something off, what we do is we're going to give you an option so that they can continue to leverage this $289 for maybe 1, 2, or even 3 years later. So in this case, that comes in the form of this drop after. Okay, so it's drop after 0 months, which would mean, let's say this expired in June of 2024. Okay, so that would be roughly 3 years away. So in June of 24, then they would stop making this payment. If you set this to 0, it will take the money out of the tailwind and just allow, so it'll reduce the tailwind by $289. Now, if they're not going to get a vehicle right away, maybe they're willing to leave that working for them for another 12 months, 24, or 36 months. Okay, so that's what the drop after is about. It's being realistic. It's making it more like what real life happens. So we'll return that money back into the family budget so they can get another vehicle. Okay, then the second vehicle basically is all the same information. I will show you the table for this. So I did run this at one time with a 0 interest rate. And so it's a 2008 Toyota. The original amount was $20,807. The origination date of this purchase was calculated to be 04 of 2018. The payment's at $289, interest rate 0. For 72 months, that means the total payments, in this case, if that had been higher than 0, would have had a significant amount in this total payments, because that would have included the interest. In this case it was $1 because it was at 0.001. Okay, so that just gives you shows you how the amortization tables work, and so that covers the vehicles for the debts.